Hi there, and welcome to Discipleship Minutes, brought to you by Revelation Radio and Water Springs Discipleship School. It's our heart that you would be blessed by these few moments in God's Word and challenged to go deeper in your walk with God. And now, with today's Discipleship Minutes, here's Alipio Amaral.
There's a commercial on European television where a older, seasoned, higher-ranking German officer is taking a lower-ranking, younger German officer to man the radar station for him, which is usually his job. He tells the younger officer, this is my sector, and all of this too, that's my sector. So you sit here, you take care, you man this radar, I'm going to get a cup of coffee. So he goes and he gets a cup of coffee. Right then, over the radio, as the younger German officer settles in, he hears, hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? And the younger German officer is kind of flustered, and he says, hello? And then he hears over the radio, can you hear us? We are sinking. And the younger German officer says, this is the German Coast Guard. And he hears over the radio, we are sinking. Can you help us? We are sinking. And he sort of settles in and he says, what are you thinking about? And it's a commercial for Berlitz English, so that in Europe you can learn to speak better English. When you're talking about languages and you're talking about the Bible was written in 3 different languages, Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. Sometimes when we try to study the Bible, when we try to understand what the Bible is saying, there can be complexities of the original languages that don't really translate and that confuse us as we're reading in our English versions or whatever version you're reading in. In the original languages, it sometimes gets translated in a way that is confusing. For instance, when you come to the book of Romans chapter 12, verse 1 says, therefore, brethren, I beseech you by the mercies of God that you present yourselves living sacrifices, holy and acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. Paul, the author of the book of Romans, is writing to the Roman church, and in the first 11 verses, he talks to them about what they think about God, how they are to think about the Lord. He talks about doctrine. He talks about sin, and he talks about redemption, and he talks about justification, and he talks about sanctification. That's all talking about doctrine, what you think about God. When you come to chapter 12, verse 1, it begins with a therefore. Now, a therefore is what we call a causation. It means that what comes before it is the cause, and what comes after it is the effect. It's a causation. Whenever you find a therefore, you've heard it before. People say you want to ask what it's there for, because it's a causation. It indicates there's a cause and effect relationship in the text. It can be a verse causing another verse. It could be a paragraph causing another paragraph, or it can be something deeper, more profound, and larger scope. In the book of Romans, we find a causation in chapter 12, verse 1 that indicates to us everything in chapters 1 through 11 is the cause, and everything from chapter 12 through 16 is the effect. Now, chapter 1 through 11, that's talking about doctrine, what we think about God. Chapters 12 through 16 is talking about duty, talking about lifestyle changes. Now, if the causation in chapter 12, verse 1 means that the first 11 chapters are the cause and the remaining chapters from 12 through 16 are the effect, then what you think about God has an effect on your lifestyle. Many people try very hard to change the way that they live, to change their lifestyle. And what Paul the Apostle seems to be indicating is, well, stop doing that. Don't try to change your lifestyle. Change the way you think about God, and the effect will be your lifestyle will change as a result. Change the way you think about God, and it will change your life. Have you been trying to change your life? How's that working out for you? probably not that good. Take a suggestion from the Apostle Paul, who teaches us to change the way that we think about God, and our lifestyle will change as a result.
Thanks for listening to Discipleship Minutes, brought to you by Water Springs Discipleship School and Revelation Radio. For the studio recording or for more information about Water Springs Discipleship School, you can click the videos link under On the Air at revelationradio.fm or go to watersprings.net/WDS. Thanks for listening. Be sure to join us again next time for Discipleship Minutes.